Today, I have one of my favorite people on the planet, and I mean that. I feel like, I've known her for years, but that's just because Jen Strogatz has an, please forgive this word, infectious personality, and I adore her. I adore her. She can't stand me, but I adore her. Jen is Philadelphia's go-to concert snapper, and she photographs in the good times all of the bands performing in and out of the city of brotherly love. Those days, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, will return here to Philly and your city, wherever you're watching from. Jen is a content creator and creative director working with artists on their development, management, and marketing. She honed her art at Ringling College of Art and Design in Florida, where she majored in photography and digital imaging. And boy, did she major well. Wait till you see some of her photos. She's the co-editor and marketing director for independentphilly.com. And next up for Jen is an exciting project called Love from Philly. It's created by the Philadelphia Globe and serves as a virtual stage for Philly's finest musicians, artists, and personalities, as well as a platform for all artists around the globe. And Jen, at the end of the show, will tell you how you can send in what they call your jawns. That's a Philadelphia word. I still don't know what it means, but she'll explain to me. On camera now, I am bringing you the gorgeous, the lovely, the delightful, the funny, the amazing. Let's get her on the right side of the screen. There's Jen. There's Jen. Look
Am
at
I
Jen.
am I here?
There you are, Jen. You're on the screen.
Well, hey.
Hi.
Hey. Hi.
We've never been serious before, and we're not going to be serious. Oh, you're going to put your... Oh, I love those glasses.
They look like yours, kind of.
Yeah, I like your
Except
glasses.
I like your color. You've never seen these glasses before?
Never seen them before, no. So
Yeah,
how are you doing there? Are you going up a wall?
pretty much, yeah. I've lost my mind a little bit, but I'm okay. You know, it's like everybody up and down. 1 second I'm like, is this real life? Am I gonna wake up in a dream? Then I think, I keep saying this since this all happened. Like, I feel like I'm in the first 3 episodes of season 1 of The Walking Dead. Did you see The Walking Dead?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was obsessed with The Walking Dead. I loved that show. I went to like the Comic Cons and everything. I loved it. Not so much anymore, but yeah. And then, I'll accept it for a little bit and just be like focusing on work and then just back and forth. So
I am just on the side of your screen, just below your guitar. So that way you are full screen and everyone can... I think you were one of the most beautiful women in Philly. And when this is all over...
Stop.
Can we do some more photographs together out on the streets in Philly, being crazy?
Yeah, that's like what I wanted to do in the first place. I mean, I wanted to go to Old City with you and South Street. There's so many places around the city that I just like mark down in my phone when I'm walking around and I want to go back there and shoot, So yeah, absolutely.
So I want to ask you, I haven't done a photography show, and this is, I don't know where we're going with this, but I've got to ask you something that so impressed me about you, that I didn't know about you. And now you've gone up a step or two on the ladder in my esteem of your great photographic genius. You worked with Mary Ellen Mark in 2010 and 2011. Let me just tell everyone who's watching, because they won't know who she is. She was a Philadelphian. She died a few years ago, folks. Known for her photojournalism, her documentary photography, her portraiture, her advertising photography. And what she really liked was getting away. And there's a few other great photographers who did this. Maybe she was emulating them. They were from the early part of the century, but she liked to get away from mainstream society and towards the more interesting, eclectic, often troubled fringes. But listen to this. She's very much like Annie Leibovitz is now. She was published. This is just...
They're pretty much the top 2 biggest female photographers, I'd say, of our time, Annie Leibovitz and Marianne
And
Mark, and
yeah,
she was my idol.
and
I
I just
loved
want to
her.
just make sure the audience knows just these few facts about her because this is going to
Yeah.
blow their mind. She was published in Life, Rolling Stone, The New Yorker, The New York Times, and my favorite, Vanity Fair. But listen to this, folks. She began photographing with a box brownie, which I'm buying after the pandemic. I found one for $20 because I collect old cameras. And she was also, this is the part which is going to blow you away, folks, because she was a unit photographer. Um, I have to just do something in the studio here just to adjust volumes. She was a unit photographer, folks, on movie sets. I'm just going to name
Yeah.
five. She did the stills for more than 100 films, including, listen to this, Alice's Restaurant, Catch 22, Carnal Knowledge, and Apocalypse Now. So, anyway, you went with her to
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca de
Oaxaca.
Juarez.
Say it again. What?
No, I don't know what I just said. Tell them where you went.
Oaxaca de Juarez, Mexico.
Hang on. Oaxaca de Oaxaca. That's what I said.
Yeah, no,
I
totally.
said Oaxaca de
Oaxaca.
Juarez. That's how we say
I
it. Tell me what you did there.
um we just so she would hold a sort of workshop there every summer, or every other summer. I'm not. Yeah, no, every summer, and just select certain people, like a small group, to go with her. And then she would shoot around Oaxaca. She had roots there for. She'd been going for so many years, and then whoever was there with her would be doing an assignment that they wanted to work on. Some I remember a girl that I was there with was shooting in this meat factory, which I thought was really cool.
Mm.
Just in Mexico, it was just in the middle of nowhere, and I was shooting at orphanages, at local Mexican orphanages, and actually, I think I have the book actually like right over there. I can show you that she published with all of our work in it. I have like 2 pictures in there. You want me to grab?
I have started to almost exclusively photograph in black and white.
I
And
noticed that. Yeah.
yeah, I like your photo. I like the photos you took in black and white because to me they
Yeah.
have a much more romantic feel, even in a desperate time.
I agree. I mean, well, specifically for right now, I just felt like the black and white went with the mood of the moment. So that's why I use black and white. But I mean, when I'm shooting concert photography, it's a different story. There's just so much
It's
going
total.
on with the lights. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I'm doing personal projects and things like that, I typically tend to shoot in a more photojournalistic manner. And I do more drama and more black and white and more just yeah, more stuff like that you don't normally see from me.
Well, I've got a few questions because you are the only person that I know who I can talk to about photography. I had a car accident, and after that car accident, I was stuck indoors. So I've had a little bit of experience about being stuck indoors, and I jumped into photography with a passion, and I have put probably in 18 months 6 years worth of research, and I
I
think my
know
photos are
you
getting a bit better now.
I think so too. No, I noticed that. I mean, not for nothing though. The first time that you took photos of me, if you notice, I used that one photo on like
I
everything.
know, and it was awful. That's
I
why
love that
I
photo.
know.
It's
Well,
great.
I listen. I'm gonna.
And it's really the only one I have of me close up with a camera. I don't know. I just because I'm usually shooting if I have the camera. So
We'll do we'll do another one. I want to direct you to a website, to a YouTube channel because I follow a lot of photographers, but there is one man, and I mentioned him in this week's Friday show because we were talking about different things that you can do at home while you're stuck at home, and he started doing free tutorials. But with him, it's amazing because he just does his work and talks to the camera. His name is Peter Coulson, Coulson. I will send you the information. He is Australia's top photographer. He is so brilliant, and you see him at work with his assistant, who's also a model of his muse, and he put out a 3-hour video the other day just shooting a couple of models. He's got this. Anyway, I won't go into detail about Peter, but Peter, I mean, I have some of the philosophy that Peter has, except obviously I wouldn't put myself in the same thing. But I've got a few questions for you. I want to run a video right now, and then I'll tell you why I'm running it. This is a video showing you shooting a very short extract here, folks. For copyright reasons and things. This is the Lady Alma video. So let me just run this right now.
I own that copyright. I shot it. So
you shot it.
That's my video. Yeah.
But so who shot you?
Oh, that clip. Oh. Okay, that was just on like Snapchat, but there's an actual video that I shot.
No, I don't want that. I'll tell you. Let me run this right now, and then I'll tell you, because I got a huge question for you. Okay, so here's my question. You're videoing her, right?
Yes, I am.
You're not using a gimbal stabilizer. What the why aren't you using a gimbal?
Because I was really, that was just a rehearsal that was Swift Technique with Lady Alma and some of my friend Aaron Good on trombone and Arnetta Johnson, and a terrific trumpet player. They were just rehearsing for their New Year's Eve gig, so it was at the Boom Room. I was just taking photos. I wasn't expecting to really do much video, but if it comes up that I do want to do some video, I'm able to stabilize it in post-production pretty well in Adobe. So I do the best I can holding it with my hands. Like you saw me, I'm just sort of like trying my best, but post-production I fix all of that and it's fine.
You know what bothers me?
I'll send you the video later so you can see what I mean. Like it's stable.
But I tell you why I haven't bought a gimbal, because I started to do some video, and I like video slow motion with some background music, especially with the models that I'm shooting. But the reason I haven't bought a gimbal is because I've watched people setting it up online, and it seems like a pain in the ass. It can take 2 hours. A little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah, gimbals are a little complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, they're fine. And you just have to really balance them at first, and that's all that is the initial setup, and then you get the hang of it, and it makes life so much easier, basically. And also, though, recently I bought this. It's called the Osmo Digi. It's like a handheld gimbal.
It's
like,
I know it.
Okay, so this is the Digi Osmo is what it's called, and it's just this big. I got this little extension thing that you could see. It's a little wheel to turn it, but watch when I turn it on.
Wow.
You see that? So it'll stabilize. Watch how I'm going to focus on your face, and it's going to roll with your face so that, the purpose of this is that, for instance, if you're taking a video with a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, and you're holding it and it's shaky, and you watch it afterwards, you feel nauseous, and you're like car sick watching it. This is like what they use in movies to, maintain it, stabilize it, so it's smooth transitions when you're moving. It's not jilty, obviously.
So do you put the camera on the top of that?
My camera?
No, I
Or
mean,
this?
is that a camera on there?
Yeah, this. Oh, so that's the camera. So this is following your face. Hold on. I have it on your face right now. That I'm moving right now, that's the camera.
I dismissed that when I saw it. I thought it was going to be rubbish. So, and the quality of the video is really good.
4K, really good video. Has lots of settings. I mean, it's great for just look it up on YouTube. You'll see some videos that people take, and it's incredible. It
Well, the
really
first
is.
photo I want to put up is your new photo that you use on your sites, which I think is one of the best photos I've seen of you. Hopefully, this is the one I'm putting on
Of
the screen.
me?
Yeah, I'm putting this on the screen now, folks. Um, let's see. Here we go. It's Jen looking like she's in her car wearing these bright white sunglasses and very, very blonde hair. And I just think that that whole attitude is you, Jen. I love that photo. I may be using it when we put this out, if you don't mind. Actually, I may do the photo I just took before while people were watching. Anyway, that is Jen, how I know her. And I've got her very low key today because
I know.
I've got a
This
very
is
low
like
key.
very intense.
No,
I'm on my best behavior right now.
well, I want because I
Aren't
want
I?
you are an amazing behavior and we get very silly together. But I want people to know a bit about you because you've got a lot to know about. What do you got in your mouth?
Just my vape. You know my vape. It's not weed. It's
It's
nicotine.
it's very erotic. You have to be very careful how you do that.
Erotic. I mean, it's like smoking a cigarette. Don't be
That's
a pervy old person.
I am a pervy old person smoking a cigarette. Woman smoking a cigarette with big red lipstick. It's very sexy.
And it's very grease.
Yeah, very grease. Okay, what is this? This is a photo of Jen right up front at a concert taking a photo straight up on the concert stage. So you get a stop moving your camera.
Sorry.
So you're going to drive everyone nuts. Stay put. Leave it alone. Okay, so listen. I put this photo up of you right up to the stage. How do you get a front stage pass like that?
Um. Well, I'm not sure which photo you're talking about,
Well, you're
but
just
generally,
standing.
I
You're
mean,
leaning on
it's
the
just
stage. It doesn't matter.
right, right. No, I'm saying generally how I mean, basically, I run a media site, so artists that are touring need press and publicity, and just to advance that tour, sell tickets, etc. So publicists reach out to me, managers reach out to me, email me the press releases, and then whatever we're interested in covering press-wise for the publication, I'll email them back and say, okay, usually what we do is go, if I'm shooting it or I'll send a photographer out to shoot it, we'll get a photo pass and a press pass, which is basically like a review ticket. Just to review the show, a writer will go, or editorial. But I get the photo pass, so meaning they call it the photo pit. It's like right in front of the stage where you're barred off from the audience. And so industry standard, it usually is like you're allowed to shoot the first 3 songs of each set, and then you leave the photo pit. Depends on usually the venue that you're in, and it depends on if you know the artist, if you don't know the artist. It depends on the venue, like, how cool they are there, how lenient, whatever. But, sometimes I'll be able to shoot the whole set. And, but yeah, that's why that happens.
Well, you just have to tell them you're Jen Strogatz, and that's all that matters. Your
That's
name.
literally what I do. I didn't want to say that, but that is what I do. I'm like Jen Strogatz, kiss my ring.
That's right. I mean, your name in Philadelphia is mega huge. It's a very easy one to explain to you. And I'm blocking the entire screen here because I want people to see it. This is one of the most amazing photos I've seen of a concert. So you have the main singer, he's wearing dark glasses, you have the one next to him, and then you have the third guy to the left, who may well be actually the guy who's alongside him. kind of superimposed twice.
Okay, that was Eve 6. Um, and what I did with that was I have a filter. It's they call, it's like a it's called a fractal filter, but basically all it is like a little piece of glass that I put over my camera lens. It doesn't stick on. I basically hold it up to my camera like this.
Hang on. Let me
Just
show
hold
them. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
so it's, I hold it up like this while I'm shooting, hold it against the light to reflect the light off of it in a certain way that I want it to be, and then it'll come out like that, and it'll sort of create, because the glass is it has different edges and the light reflects off of it that way. So
Could you do that with a crystal if you wanted to?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a minute about your camera. How many cameras you got?
I have two cameras.
What do you use? Oh, you got
I
a
use
Sony.
I use the Sony A7 III. I used Nikon my entire life since high school. But the Sonys are, the mirrorless cameras in general are just better for low lighting. And I obviously shoot in a lot of low lighting situations. So I needed that. And I still have I have my Nikon D7000. Which I still love Nikon, but yeah, I love the Sony. It's
And the
awesome.
Sony that you've got, is that the one that, because I know Sony now have this amazing feature where you just catch somebody's eye and it just follows them. Have you got that on that camera?
The eye registration,
Yeah.
yes, it does have that, but I haven't really experimented with that much because I don't. I don't know. It never really comes up for me because I shoot manual during the concerts, for instance, and then it's so dark you can't see the people's eyes. So, but when I'm shooting portraits, you know,
Well, let's stick to concerts because I want. I know that there's a lot of people who want to shoot concerts, and there's so many editorials about shooting portraits.
yeah.
But for concerts, what I mean, you get up front and personal, but occasionally, probably you're at the back of the crowd. What is your favorite lens to use for concert?
Um, okay, I have two favorite lenses. My 35 millimeter, it's f2.1.8. This one.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my go-to because 35 millimeter are just great. It's like
Yeah.
very versatile. And then my other favorite one is my really long range. I think it's 70 to 200 or 300.
Yeah.
And that's one of those really big guys for Sony. And that one I can get in really close and personal. So if I'm shooting, basically there's two ways I'm shooting. I'm either, and it depends on who the artist is, and the venue. So typically I'm right up front at the stage so I can shoot with whatever I want. Sometimes I'll be asked to shoot at the soundboard, which is like front of house. So depends on the venue, but kind of far back. Then I need the other lens and I can get really close.
And it seems from your photographs, 'cause I don't own a 35 millimeter lens, and I will eventually. The thing about 35 millimeter, I know, is supposedly, and I think it's absolutely correct. It gives you the viewpoint of your human eye, which no other lens does. And when I look at your photos, it's almost like it's a wide lens, but it's not. It's just taking in the view that you would see, whereas other lenses maybe are going to reduce that view. So, for
I
example,
do also have a wide lens that I use.
oh, you do? What's
I
your
do.
wide lens? How
I
wide do you
do.
go?
Let me see. What is my wide lens? Good question. I can't. I think I
Okay,
have it. I have it over at the studio right now, so I like can't even think of it. I have so many lenses,
I want
but
to put another photo up here. Now, I don't know who this is, but I'll tell you the photo. You're on the screen and she's on the side. Um, it's a lady who's bending over. She's wearing a multicolored outfit.
oh, that's Cardi B. Okay.
What really turns me on is you got very vivid colors there. But the background, you must have done some photoshopping here because in the background, you've captured the lights in the background, which I love. I love that. They almost look black and white. So did you do some photoshopping on that to make the background black and white and to keep her?
No, I just actually so no, that those were just the way that the lights were behind her. So I think just probably used a really low f-stop. The aperture was a low number to blur the background a tiny bit, but really with concert photography, it's what I love about it personally is that it's you have no control over your environment, your subject, anything. It's for me the most challenging form of photography because there's so much backlighting. There's lights coming from the back of these people. Not only that, but they're changing colors constantly. So you have the backlighting, the changing of colors. So you're always having to adjust to go with that.
Yeah.
But I just try to shoot. I don't just snap photos like I see a lot of people doing when I'm at shows. I wait for that moment that I see that the lights are right behind her, things like that, and then I get the settings the way I need them to be, and
So
that's what I do.
I was going to ask you if you do burst shots like 20, 30 at a pop.
Um, Depends. I don't typically know. I just will do I sometimes do, but not really as like a general thing that I
So
do.
when you go into, because I'm not going to spend a whole day on this chat, but there's so much I want to know from you because uh, when you go in
Yeah.
and you know the lighting, the lights have all pretty well set up, although we know that on the stage there's all kinds of fireworks and things. But basically, initially, you know the lighting for that set. You set your camera for that lighting and go for it.
No, because when you go in to the venue, maybe they have the lights on. Uh, However, when the artist comes on stage, the whole venue is dark. I mean, there are no lights other than what's on the stage, and you can't use flash or anything. So you just need to compensate that with your ISO and your exposure, your aperture, your shutter speed, all of that.
But I mean, once the artist starts the set, like the first song, like
Yeah,
maybe
I adjust it to
you
theirs
adjust it
to
to
the
that.
stage.
So let's talk about a setting like this. My guess is that you've got to go a ISO,
Hmm.
but you want to
Yes.
avoid getting the grainy image unless that's
Right.
what you go for. Your shutter speed has got to be pretty fast.
Hi. Yes.
Um,
So I try to shoot at least 250 shutter speed, and then the aperture. I mess around with it, but if it's higher than 250, then you can catch the motion and freeze it. And you don't have blur.
and what do you find that you like your aperture? What's your f-stop going to be normally?
Um, It depends on what I'm trying to shoot. So if I'm trying to get more depth of field, try to blur the background a little bit, I'll shoot pretty low. I mean, I'll be at 1.8 with a
Oh,
250 shutter speed and then compensate with my ISO. It changes so much throughout just an hour, 2 hours. It's ever changing. So
sure.
it's like I have to change with it and I have to move fast.
What's
So
the
I
high? What's the highest ISO that your camera will let you? Because cameras now let you go to very high ISOs.
This camera supposedly will go really high, like to I don't know, 10,000 ISO, higher maybe.
But what do you
How
like?
I don't go past 2,000 because I find that it starts to get grainy there.
Yeah.
And editing that is such a pain in the ass. I can't deal with it. So, I try to stay around 2,000, and then I mess with the shutter and the aperture, and I just go back and forth
Might be. You
with it all.
automatically know in your mind from experience, oh, I've got to adjust this to such and such. It's
Yeah,
experience, right, Jen?
absolutely. Yeah,
It's experience.
absolutely. The more you do it, I mean, the more that it gets, it becomes second nature. But, you know, I mean, it's always challenging. Knowledge is key. The more that you
That's right.
know, the better off you are.
Let me put another photo up here that I thought was fabulous. And it's fabulous for me because once again, it's showing people in motion. And what makes it even more complicated is there's a bunch of them. This is the
Oh,
dance troupe,
yeah.
all dressed in white. Who are they?
So this was very different for me, and I had never photographed dancers before, but I ended up really loving it. This was Philadanco with the National Association of Blacks in Dance, and there was about 25 different dance crews from all over America that came and performed at Miriam Theater right next to me. So they asked me to come and write about it, and it ended up being so fabulous. I mean, it brought me to tears. Actually, it was so beautiful, and I ended up getting, I think, in my opinion, some of the best photos I've taken, probably maybe in my life.
Well, that photograph was absolutely amazing, and from, a fledgling. I'll always call myself a fledgling photographer because I don't have enough. I wish I would have not got into the wine world and would have got into photography because I find that is something that I have just taken to so naturally. But I look at every photograph, and I looked at that photograph, and I thought, oh my God, she's got all these people moving. This is only a really professional can capture that. I'm going to cut down the photos I got left to three, and these are three that I believe I really really liked. I'm going to see if memory serves. This first one I adore. This is the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh yeah, I love that one. That's Robbie Takok from the Goo Goo Dolls. He's like with his hair everywhere and his face is
No,
like
no, this
crazy.
is the one.
Oh,
This
the
is
other one with the purple.
this is the one with the zebra or
Yes,
zebra
and the pink
screen
kind
at
of.
the back, and he's just standing there. But the way you have, like you have this, you have him. I mean, this for people who are studying
So
photography.
I'll say for people who are starting photography, that's called the rule of thirds.
That's right, right.
And I have him off frame a little bit, and that's because it draws, when somebody's looking at an image or a painting, whatever, you want, as an artist, I want to draw their eyes to the subject that I'm trying to show them. So drawing the people's eyes to where I want them to look, and then there's a diagonal, an axis going that way, which will draw your eyes right back around itself so that you'll continue to be focused in on that subject matter. And
You,
it's just sort of a natural tool.
Everyone hears about the rule of thirds. Some photographers say it's not important, but Jen Strogatz here shows you folks that I'm looking
Rule
at
of thirds,
rule of
people.
thirds rocks, and I'm looking at the screen. If I'm not looking at you, Jen, and I'm not looking at the audience, but this is a great photo. There's another one. Uh, I love Natasha Bedingfield, and there's a photograph of here where her
She's
arms.
British, by the way.
Huh?
She's British, by the way.
Well, I know. That's why I like her.
That's why I like her. And she also reposted all my photos and said best photos from Jen Strogatz. And I'm like, oh, cheerio, mate. Yes.
Well, this is the what I call the Tina Turner shot. She's got her hair covering her face, her hands are motioning up in the air,
I love that one.
and and you can just, ladies and gentlemen, look just to the corner, and this is what I love about it. There's the guitarist just out of shot, but enough to show you that he's really at it there. He's wearing a nice hat, it's just like the one I'm
Yeah.
wearing. That
And you
Jen,
can see the diagonals of that guitar pointing towards Natasha.
yeah.
You see what I mean? So I sort of wait for those moments that, I mean, because I'm also a fine artist and I draw and I paint and I was trained in that stuff. So I see, the vanishing points in things and the horizon lines, but that's what really draws your eyes into the subject.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm going to stick with one last one, but I'm going to have two photos of the same person.
okay.
This is Snoop Dogg,
Oh
and
yeah.
these are so. Well, firstly, I've got the one with him wearing his dark glasses and his multicolored blue jacket, but I don't think that's the one. That's a great photo, and what I liked about it is the colored lights just streaming in the background. Almost,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bokeh-esque type thing. It's got. But let me go on to the other one, which I
Where
really
it's
like.
sort of pitch black and just his face. Is
I
that
like the one where you've got him. Just in the bottom, you've given plenty of black space. You've got this empty space to the in front of him, negative space in front of him, and he's not even filling the screen, but it's amazing. It's sharp. It's
Yeah,
crisp.
I like that one
And I'm
too.
sure you didn't say to him, hold it while I take this photo. I'm sure he was moving. That was that was amazing one. Let me just see this last one I put up here. Why did I put this up? This was
Which
Train.
one? Oh, I just
Oh,
love Train. I'm sorry, like that. Okay, I must say, two of the photos in here that we have not said are probably the favorite shows that I went to last year. One of them, Little Wayne. Second one, Train, because it's very meaningful to me for many reasons. Train, that is. But those photos I love
well,
of
let me let
Pat
me just
Monahan.
let me just tell you the train photo that I've picked out here that I think is so brilliant, so
Sounds
brilliant. You've got your key character, your key feature, your focus is on your subject who is singing his heart out with his hand extended. You've got
mhm.
the lights cascading down, the spotlights cascading down, and you've got the guitarist in the background just doing his own thing. And there's something about that that just smacks of rock and roll. And I believe there's a balloon on the side with one of their top tracks written on it. Let me see if I can see that.
Yeah, that's the animation on the backboard. But I thought you were going to choose the other one, but it's interesting. I think you're right. I do love this photo. It's very
All right, let me
interesting
put
with
the
him
other
with his
train photo up, folks. I just found that I have
with
it
his
here
leg out.
with his
I
leg
I,
out. Oh,
I think
that,
that
yeah.
one's cool.
Well, I don't know which of these two. Hang on, let's put it full screen so everyone can see. I would say that both of those shots are like equally favorites of mine.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could make them into a diptych. Who knows? And I wanted to ask, I mean, I've been thinking about, with everything that's going on right now, and I've been thinking about maybe doing some type of a class if people are interested, like in learning photography, an online course. If anyone wants to do that, let Phil know.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, I have questions as a student of photography. I'd like to learn from Jen, so this would be good. And also, if you want to send in some, I want you. Let me say what I was going to say first, and then I've got a great idea because everything we're making up as we go along. I want to first mention that to maintain a sense of community and connection during a time of great isolation and fear, artists are encouraged to send love Jawns, and that's hashtag love Jawns. And if you remember at the very beginning of this, I mentioned that the Philadelphia Globe has something that Jen is very involved with, and that is called.
The Philadelphia Globe is my new media outlet, and we are doing an initiative called Love from Philly. And basically, what it is well, there's multiple layers to it, but right now, as we stand, asking artists to send us in these little love johns, and basically, these little love johns are just short 1 to 5 minute videos of yourself just checking in with each other and talking about what's going on with you. And then at the end, doing a little performance of whatever kinds it could be comedy, do a skit. I mean, artists mainly that I've been talking to have been musicians, so they'll do a short performance, but visual artists, dancers, everything. And it's just basically to send a message of hope, love, and just keep us all connected right now that we're all so isolated.
Well, if you want to get more information, go to the philadelphiaglobe.com. Okay, there'll be links to that, I promise you. I've had on the screen the whole time Jen's Instagram, which you should follow because she puts up some amazing photos, and that's Jen Strogatz, Strogat. No, let me go back again and do this again. Her Instagram handle or address is its Jen Strogatz,
This
Strogatz.
is how I tell people. It's literally just Jen with one N and then Stro, Gatz, boom, 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 with a Z at the end.
Okay. And it's Jen with one N, Strogatz with the Z at the end, .com for her website. Oh, that will be linked. Let us know if you'd like to see Jen again, with or without me, chatting about photography. Specifically, if you've got questions, let's focus this now on you taking this time that you're stuck indoors, learning about going to concerts and taking photos. The other stuff you can find elsewhere, but specifically concert photos. What do you want to know about concert photos? What do you want to know about lenses, cameras? Jen is the lady to ask. So Jen, I love
Yes.
you.
I love you so, so much. XO. That's
And
how we do.
we did really well. We're gonna.
I said that's how we do.
Oh, well, I can't understand. She's got such a horrible Philly accent. She doesn't talk. You don't talk proper.
You don't talk proper.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Jen Strogatz. Let's put a round of applause up for her. Let's do that right now because she deserves. Okay, round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen in the audience.
People.
Did you hear that?
Oh, I was looking behind me waiting. Okay.
You didn't hear the.
I did. No, I did hear that. That was
Okay,
amazing.
once more, folks, because she deserves
Come on,
two rounds
guys.
of applause.
Whoa, that's enthusiastic.
And
Thanks, everybody.
Jen, mwah. Ladies and
Mwah.
gentlemen, stay tuned for more of these shows with Jen and also other shows with the midweek series coming your way very soon. Wash your hands twice. Happy birthday twice. Don't touch anyone. Don't even touch yourself.